Okay, pretty simple, right? I just want to make sure that you've got it taken care of. Now, what do they always say? Yep. Yep, I got it all handled. Okay. All right. How many of you believe them? I'm not only do I not believe them, now I want to know, do they believe them? Do they believe what they're saying? Okay. So I explain, and so I explain what's in the package page by page, but only if they're saying, just give me the package. I got it handled. So they say, great, I got it handled. So I say, great. So, and I have a whole script. I have a whole script in the book that you can learn. It's part of our. So ask them if they got it taken. They say, yeah, I got it taken. I said, great. So let me ask you a question. Are you writing a check for the arrearage? Are you getting a loan mod, or did you decide to sell your house?
I'll give you a loan mod.
Yeah, but did you hear what I said? I basically right up front told them what their options were. You can either write a check for the arrearage, you can get a loan modification, or you can sell your house. True or false? Okay? Now, I'm not there to try to convince them to do any one of those things. They said they got it taken care of. Great. Are you getting a loan mod, writing a check for the arrearage, or did you decide to sell your house? They said, no, I'm getting a loan mod. I say, great. Huh? Okay. I say, great. I said, so did you apply and get the loan mod yourself, or is somebody else helping you? It's always somebody else is helping me. No, somebody else is helping. That's great. You didn't pay them up front, did you? They say, yes. I said, okay, I have two concerns now. And now I pull out the two documents that I told you, and I say, so if you were, here's what my primary concern is. My primary concern is that according to the state of California, it's illegal for you to be for them to do dual tracking, which means you can't both be under loan mod review and have a foreclosure date. So either you're not in loan mod review like you think you are, or you don't have a foreclosure date. What this looks like to me is that either you have a loan mod and it looks like they're getting ready to foreclose on you legally, or you don't have a loan mod and they're getting ready to foreclose on you legally. We need to get to the bottom of it. But my second concern is the person who's maybe telling you that you're getting a loan mod knowingly and illegally took money from you in order to help you get the loan mod. When was the last time you spoke to the bank? Now they're no longer in my face. Now they want to, What? Wait. What'd you just say? Say that again? Okay? And now I can say it slower the second time. I said, here's what I like to do. I said, this may be really quick. Maybe what we need to do is we need to get to the bottom of this right away. What I suggest is that we step into your house, we call the bank together, I put them on a speakerphone, I got 6 or 8 questions that I want to ask them. At the end of those 6 or 8 questions, okay, we'll know exactly where you are with your loan mod, we'll know whether or not you have a foreclosure date, and we'll be able to verify that everything's fine or verify everything's not, so we can take evasive action before you lose your house. Would you allow me to do that with you? It's not that complicated, right? Now, sometimes they say yes, and sometimes they say no. So what do you do when they say no? When they say no, I give them homework. I said, because sometimes it's 8 o'clock at night, sometimes it's Sunday, sometimes it's Saturday. They don't want to call the bank. Their kids are inside. They don't want to do it there. Whatever, they don't want their. Sometimes their spouse doesn't even know they're in foreclosure. Okay, we've seen that many times too. I get the wife comes to the door and says, "I'm here to." What do you mean? My husband said it's been taken care of. That's happened many times. And the husband comes out, closes the door, and tells me to get off their property, because I just made his night pretty tough. All right. It's happened, all right? All right. So if they say, let's just talk about if they say no, they don't want my help. If they're saying the package, I say great. So what I want to first do is I want to go through, let me just give you a brief overview of what's in the package. And I always start with the alternatives to foreclosure. Okay? And so as I'm going through the alternatives to foreclosure, I'm looking for an opening to ask this question. What did the bank do to you? In other words, first of all, do they think they're victims?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to just agree with them. That's easier. Well, I'm not going to tell them, listen, you're a deadbeat. You deserve to lose your house. That's not the conversation. I wasn't a deadbeat. Okay, when my house went in, I didn't pay my mortgage, but I couldn't eat either, okay? I mean, I was having a tough week, all right? So, I don't, and as soon as I could, I started paying again. All right? So, and I paid ever since then, and everything's been fine, and I became a citizen again. But it wasn't because I didn't want to pay. I wasn't just being irresponsible. I wasn't being deliberate. I wasn't trying to hurt the bank. I was just trying to survive. Okay? And the problem with that for homeowners, and you need to have this empathy for them, is when they get to the place where they can do it again, when they get back on the job, they get their health back, or whatever the circumstances were, they want to pay again, but the bank says no now. Okay? That's what happens to them. So it doesn't make them bad people. We want to figure out what's the deal, what happened. Okay? Yeah, there's a very high probability they're going to lose their house, but we can do that. We can help them transition with some love and compassion and empathy. True or false? True. It's not about how much money we're making all the time. I do deals I work for free all day long. Elgin, you work for free all day long many days? I give advice for free all day long, all the time, and I do not make decisions of whether I work with that client or that client or that client based on, I'm not making enough money here, I'm making enough money here, I'll do that one and not. I help everybody, and at the end of the month, I just make sure I have more gross than I have expenses, and everything seems to work out okay. True or false? All right, I'm not hung up, and I'm not wasting any time. It's a waste of my time. I just want to help people, and I've just learned that if I work with an attitude of servitude, if I do what's right for people, I do the best I can to help people, the money will flow to me freely and in abundance. Okay? I mean, I have months where I don't deserve this much money. Thank you, but I don't deserve it. Okay? So I'm going to ask them, what did the bank do to you? Okay? And then I focus on scheduling the next meeting. So here's the work track that we have. So I just wrote it all. I'm affiliated with home. So I give people the ability, I'm affiliated with Home Loan Advocates. My records show you have a foreclosure date. Are you writing a check for the past due amount or getting a loan mod or selling the home? Okay? If they're getting a loan mod, they get here. You didn't pay them upfront fees. I already went through the work track with you. And that's basically how we do it. And one of the things that I'm doing if they're getting a loan mod is that I'm using, this is one of the things I teach in the third or fourth week of the coaching group that we're going to be doing. I guess I need the picks and dates. Here it is. So we'll be doing it one morning in a week. We'll be recording it. But we're looking at their pre-mod cash flow, post-mod cash flow. So when we sit down and start penciling it out what their loan mod looks like from the bank's perspective, when I can have a conversation that sounds something like this with them, I said, listen, the bank is making, whether or not you get a loan mod is going to come down to a simple decision the bank is going to make. When the bank is going to look at your application and they're going to decide that they either make more money by foreclosing or they make more money by modifying. And if they decide that they make more money by modifying your loan, then they'll give you a loan mod. And if they make more money by foreclosing, they won't give you a loan mod. And it doesn't matter what your hardship is. It doesn't matter where you are now. It doesn't matter whether or not you can make the payments today versus then. They're simply making a simple decision. Do I make more money by modifying or make more money by foreclosing? And that drives their decision. And everything else that you say and do, the only way that you change a no into a yes is if you figure out by chance, happenstance, because we don't know the formula, you're able to demonstrate to them that they can make more money by modifying the loan, and we don't know how they calculate how they're going to make more money. So it's trial and error. Right? I mean, we have basic guidelines, but it's trial and error. So when I sit down, I said, here's why you can't get a loan mod. Because your payment is already too low, or your payment is already too high, or you don't make enough income, or you have too much income, because there are basic parameters. And when I can start have a mathematical discussion with homeowners about why they can or can't get a loan mod, I get them off the dream of the loan mod pretty quickly. Can you see how that happens? When I said, here's why you can't get a loan mod. Well, you need more income. Well, I don't have more income. You'd have too much income. So then you still get, here's why, bam, 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 bam. So even if they give you a loan mod, you still don't have enough money to pay the bill. So you're 100% redefault. That's why they're not giving you a loan mod. This is something we cover in some great detail in the coaching group. So in the alternatives of foreclosure, there are 9 alternatives. So when I pull out, so this is the first thing that I share with them. So, and I do this through process of elimination. This is pretty slick right here. So alternatives of foreclosure, it says, this must just be the email transit. So you can do nothing, and so I go through, there are 9 alternatives of foreclosure. Let me just kind of review them with you very quickly. Now I'm writing on the package. I put this out here. I have a pen, and this is what I'm doing. I said, you can do nothing. If you do nothing, the bank's just going to foreclose on April 24th, and they'll send somebody to your house, tell you have to leave. They may or may not give you any money, but your ride's coming to an end here pretty quick. I don't have the impression that's what you're going to do is nothing. Is that right? No, we're definitely not. Great. So I put an extra then. Okay? And I said the next alternative is that you can just pay it off. Maybe you know what your loan balance is. Well, can you write a check to pay it off, or you know somebody to write a check for it, and then you can just make payment? No, I don't know anybody. All right, so that's not an option. Well, what about reinstatement? What's your past due arrearage amount? They say, oh, it's $40,000. Great. Can you write a check, or know somebody who will write a check for you, and you can just pay it off, and you can start to make resume making your normal monthly payments? No, that's not okay. Now, the next thing is a loan modification that you can do. Obviously, that's an option that you want to consider. So that's one of the options that we're going to be talking about, and hopefully it's under review. And I'd love to talk to the bank and see, and just to make sure we're on the right track. The next thing is a forbearance, where they take it and re-amortize it, but we're not seeing banks do this too much unless you have excessive income now and your payment is also going to go way up from where it's going to be. If your payment went up, would you be able to afford making your payments? They always say no. That's not an option. We can do a partial claim, but the banks don't do that anymore. Deed in lieu, that's kind of like a voluntary repossession. So like you had in a car, you can't make the payments, you drive by the dealership, you flip them the keys, and you say, hey, your problem now, not my problem, and you just give the car back. That's kind of what a deed in lieu is. The problem is banks don't want you to do a deed in lieu until you've at least tried to liquidate or sell the house on your own. And considering that you're not ready to do that, deed in lieu is not really an option. Bankruptcy is the next option. A lot of people misunderstand how the bankruptcy really works. The bankruptcy is not really about it's not going to help you keep your house. All the bankruptcy does is buys you time so that you can exercise one of these options. Judges are not modifying loans or reducing principal in the bankruptcy itself, but they do give you time to maneuver. We generally use bankruptcy as a tool to buy us the time we need to achieve one of these other objections, like getting a loan modification for you. So we leave that as an option. The final option is to actually sell your house, where you actually sell the house. We try to get you as much cash as we can, help you get transitioned into a new home. And so at the end of the day, you've got really three options to keep your house out of foreclosure at this point. Which one do you want to focus on? And they say, I want to get a loan mod. Well, how many times? Great. How many times have you tried for a loan mod? Why has your I said, well, has your financial circumstances changed? No. So why do you keep applying for a loan mod? Okay, unless the finances change, the result is going to be the same over and over and over again, and that result is going to be a no. I said, let me ask you a question. Let me put it to you a different way. Now, oftentimes, this might be on a second meeting, it might be on a first meeting I have this conversation. I said, let me ask you a different question. Is your goal to save your house so that you can pay it off and keep it forever? Or you're just not ready, you just need more time in the house? So this listing that we got the other day, I asked him this question because he wanted to apply for the loan mod. I just asked him the question. I said, what is your goal? Are you you're fighting so hard to save this house. What is your goal? Are you trying to get a loan mod so that you can make payments and eventually pay it off and live in here for the rest of your life? Or do you just need more time? He said, no, we're never going to pay this house off. I said, okay, well, how much time do you need? 3 months. I said, well, if you only want 3 months, the solution is not a loan mod. The solution is to to work with the bank to give us the time that we need in order to cooperate with the bank to liquidate your house and try to do it in a way to get you the most amount of cash in the shortest period of time by getting you a high price and a low sales expense. Why don't we focus on getting you until 3 months? I said, the truth is I might be able to get you 5 or 6 months. Would that be okay, or do you want to be done in 3 months? He said, no, 5 or 6 months would be great. I said, well, great. So let me show you how we're going to do that. And I showed him what it looked like and said, okay, let's do that. And we did the listing agreement.
How do you get them more time?
We postponed the foreclosure. Okay. And I explained to him, I said, listen, if our efforts to stop the foreclosure are not viable, I said the worst thing the day before, you just go down and file bankruptcy Chapter 7, and that'll get us the time. And then as soon as they postpone it, you can go withdraw it